The UK is known for its rich history, stunning landscapes, and ghostly legends. Beyond its famous haunted houses, the country is also home to eerie farmhouses where mysterious whispers, flickering lights, and unexplained footsteps add to the chilling atmosphere. These rural haunts, surrounded by misty fields and ancient woodlands, have fueled ghost stories for generations, making the UK a hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts. Now we will visit the most haunted farmhouses in the UK. Number 1. The Village Church Farm. The Village Church Farm in Skegness, Lincolnshire, is one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK, with countless reports of ghostly encounters. This 18th century farmhouse, now a museum, has preserved its historic charm, but its eerie atmosphere tells a different story. Many visitors and staff have experienced strange occurrences, including unexplained noises, moving objects, and ghostly apparitions. One of the most frequently reported paranormal events is the sound of footsteps echoing through empty rooms. People have often heard these heavy steps on the wooden floors, even when no one else is present. Objects such as chairs and ornaments have been known to shift on their own, and sudden cold spots appear with no logical explanation. Shadowy figures have also been seen moving through the house, often disappearing when approached. A former volunteer, Stephen Nicholas Briggs, shared several chilling encounters in his book about the paranormal. On his first day at the farmhouse, he heard footsteps in the parlor, yet found himself alone. Another time, he followed what he thought was a fellow worker into the dairy, only to find the room empty. Later, video footage revealed ghostly figures watching him from an upper doorway. The farmhouse has drawn the attention of ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. A team from the show Most Haunted explored the site and experienced terrifying activity. They heard unexplained growls and knocking sounds and saw objects move on their own. They also captured eerie voices on their recording devices, responding to questions in a whisper. Withern Cottage, a 16th century building on the grounds, adds to the hauntings. People have seen the spirits of an elderly couple believed to have died there. The stable block, dating back to the 19th century, is another hotspot. Visitors claim to hear the sounds of horses and blacksmiths at work, even though the stables have long been empty. Many visitors have captured ghostly figures in photographs, including a woman in a black cloak standing in the shadows. Some say they have felt unseen hands touch them, and others describe an overwhelming sense of being watched. The Village Church Farm remains an active site for ghost hunters and history lovers alike. Its rich past and continuous reports of supernatural activity make it one of the most haunted locations in the UK. Whether a believer or skeptic, stepping inside this farmhouse is an experience few will forget. Number 2. Penyffordd Farm. Penyffordd Farm in North Wales is considered one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK. The paranormal activity began when David and Rose Mary Gower moved into the farmhouse with their adopted son in 1997. They had no idea that their dream home would soon turn into a place of terror. Shortly after moving in, eerie occurrences started. Strange footsteps echoed through the house at night, and door latches moved by themselves. The family reported sudden temperature drops, and a strong scent of incense and candles would appear without explanation. Objects would shift on their own, and whispering voices could be heard in empty rooms. One of the most chilling encounters happened when the Gower's daughter, Adrienne, woke up to see a dark, monk-like figure sitting at the foot of her bed. This shadowy presence was seen multiple times by different people in the house. As the hauntings grew more intense, Welsh words began mysteriously appearing on the walls, including Minnick, monk, and Cariad, love, despite the family not knowing the language. Outside the farmhouse, the family discovered an old gravestone buried in their garden. It belonged to a young girl named Jane Jones, who reportedly died in 1778 during childbirth. Some believe she was denied burial in consecrated ground, leading her spirit to linger at the farm. The gravestone seemed to move on its own, and the family felt an overwhelming presence whenever they were near it. The farmhouse's sinister reputation drew attention from paranormal investigators. The BBC produced a documentary called The Girl, The Ghost, and the Gravestone, featuring TV host Sean Ellery exploring the terrifying events at Penyffordd Farm. Experts and researchers examined the claims, but no clear explanation for the hauntings was found. Despite multiple blessings and exorcisms, the paranormal activity never fully stopped. The Gower family eventually left the house, unable to endure the constant fear and strange occurrences. Today, Penyffordd Farm remains a chilling mystery. Some believe the spirits are tied to the land, while others think the ghostly monk is protecting something hidden within the farmhouse's walls. Whether a believer or skeptic, Penyffordd Farm's eerie past makes it one of the most haunted places in Britain. Those who visit report feelings of unease, shadows moving in the dark, and whispers from unseen forces. It stands as a chilling reminder that some places never let go of their past. Number 3. Elvey Farm. Elvey Farm, located in the historic village of Pluckley, Kent, is considered one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK. Pluckley itself is known as England's most haunted village, and Elvey Farm is at the heart of its ghostly legends. With centuries of history and eerie tales, this farmhouse has been the site of chilling paranormal activity that continues to terrify visitors. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt Elvey Farm is that of Edward Brett, a farmer who lived there in the early 1900s. According to local records, he tragically took his own life in 1906, leaving behind a mysterious final message: "I can't stand it any longer." His ghost has been seen wandering the farmhouse, and visitors have reported hearing his voice whispering these same words. Some claim to have felt an unseen presence watching them, while others have heard phantom gunshots echoing through the building. Another terrifying presence at the farm is the spectral figure of a woman in white, believed to be the ghost of a heartbroken lover. She has been seen drifting silently through the farmhouse and surrounding fields before vanishing into thin air. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of sadness when they see her, as if she carries the sorrow of her past life. Strange lights have been reported flickering inside the farmhouse at night, even when the building is empty. Objects move on their own, doors open and close without explanation, and sudden cold spots appear. Staff members who worked at the farmhouse when it operated as a hotel described hearing footsteps in empty hallways and feeling unseen hands brush against them. Some even refused to stay alone in certain rooms due to the overwhelming feeling of being watched. The sounds of a phantom horse-drawn carriage have also been reported outside the farmhouse. Locals believe this is linked to a tragic accident from centuries ago when a carriage overturned, killing its passengers. On stormy nights, the echoes of galloping hooves can be heard approaching the farmhouse before suddenly disappearing. Paranormal investigators have explored Elvey Farm, capturing eerie voices on recordings and experiencing unexplained movements of objects. Many visitors leave convinced that the spirits of the past still linger in this ancient farmhouse. Whether it's the restless ghost of Edward Brett, the sorrowful woman in white, or the echoes of past tragedies, Elvey Farm remains one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK, where the past refuses to be forgotten. Number 4. Plas Teg. Plas Teg, located in Flintshire, Wales, is one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK. This grand Jacobean mansion, built in 1610 by Sir John Trevor, has a dark and tragic history filled with ghostly encounters. Over the centuries, it has been home to many eerie events, mysterious deaths, and restless spirits that continue to haunt its ancient halls. One of the most famous spirits is that of Dorothy Trevor, the daughter of a former owner. According to legend, Dorothy fell in love with a local farmer, but her wealthy father disapproved of their relationship. She planned to elope with him and hid her dowry of gold coins in the well. However, before she could escape, she was caught and locked in her room. Trapped and heartbroken, she died in despair. Her spirit is said to roam the house, searching for her lost fortune. Visitors have reported hearing footsteps, crying, and even seeing her ghostly figure dressed in white near the well. Another chilling tale is that of a young woman who was allegedly murdered at Plas Teg. She was said to have been thrown into the well, and some believe her tormented soul still lingers. Many visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness near the well, as if the air itself carries the echoes of her suffering. Plas Teg is also known for its eerie underground tunnels, where shadowy figures have been spotted. Some believe these tunnels were used for smuggling or secret meetings during the Civil War, and the spirits of those who perished there still haunt the passages. Strange whispers and sudden drops in temperature have been experienced by those brave enough to explore them. One of the most terrifying stories involves a malevolent entity that lurks in the house. Some guests have reported waking up to see a dark figure standing over them, its presence heavy with menace. Doors slam on their own, furniture moves mysteriously, and cold chills sweep through rooms without explanation. Paranormal investigators have captured eerie voices and unexplained noises while exploring the house. Mediums claim the spirits are tied to Plas Teg's violent past, refusing to leave. Many visitors leave feeling drained, as if something unseen has attached itself to them. Plas Teg remains one of Britain's most haunted locations, drawing ghost hunters and thrill seekers who hope to witness its supernatural activity. Whether it is Dorothy's lost love, the murdered woman, or something darker, the spirits of Plas Teg are far from at rest. Number 5. Chingle Hall. Chingle Hall, located in Llancaiach, is often considered one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK. Built in 1260 by the Singleton family, this ancient building has a chilling history filled with eerie tales, ghostly figures, and unexplained phenomena that have terrified visitors for centuries. Originally known as Singleton Hall, it later became known as Chingle Hall and gained a reputation as a place where spirits refused to rest. One of the most famous hauntings is linked to John Wall, a Catholic priest who lived in Chingle Hall during the time of religious persecution. He secretly held Catholic Mass in a hidden chapel within the house, but he was eventually captured and executed in 1679. Many believe his spirit still lingers in the hall. Visitors have reported hearing soft murmurs of prayer, unexplained footsteps, and even the sensation of being watched in the chapel. Some have even claimed to see a shadowy figure dressed in robes wandering through the halls. Another terrifying presence in the house is said to be that of a ghostly nun. Witnesses have reported seeing her spirit gliding through the rooms, sometimes appearing in doorways before vanishing into thin air. Some believe she was a woman who was forced into a convent against her will and died tragically within the house walls. Her sorrowful energy still lingers, making her presence known to those who dare to visit. Many visitors have experienced poltergeist activity inside Chingle Hall. Objects move on their own, doors slam without reason, and chilling cold spots appear suddenly. Guests have reported feeling unseen hands touch them, and some have been pushed or scratched by an invisible force. The ghostly activity seems to be strongest in the old priest's room, where candles have been seen lighting themselves, and furniture shakes violently at night. One of the most terrifying encounters occurred when a group of investigators spent the night inside the farmhouse. They reported hearing whispers, strange tapping sounds, and even saw a chair move across the room on its own. Many have left Chingle Hall feeling physically drained, as if something had attached itself to them. Despite being a place of beauty and history, Chingle Hall remains one of the most feared locations in England. Whether it is the spirit of John Wall, the sorrowful nun, or a darker force lurking in the shadows, one thing is certain: those who enter Chingle Hall often leave with an experience they will never forget. Number 6. Sker House. Sker House, located in Bridgend, Wales, is one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK, with a chilling history of tragedy, lost love, and restless spirits. This ancient building, dating back to the 12th century, was originally a monastic grange before becoming a private residence. Over the centuries, it has been home to eerie tales and ghostly encounters that continue to terrify visitors. One of the most famous hauntings at Sker House is that of Elizabeth Williams, a young woman who is said to have died of heartbreak within its walls. In the 18th century, Elizabeth fell deeply in love with a poor harpist, Thomas Evans. However, her wealthy and powerful father disapproved of the match and locked her in a room at Sker House to prevent her from seeing her lover. Trapped and alone, Elizabeth is said to have wasted away, dying in despair. To this day, her spirit is believed to haunt the house. Visitors have reported hearing the sorrowful cries of a woman echoing through the empty halls, and some have even seen her ghostly figure standing at the windows, gazing out as if waiting for her lost love. Another disturbing presence in Sker House is linked to its darker history. During the 19th century, the house was known for its harsh treatment of workers and tenants, many of whom lived in terrible conditions. Some believe the spirits of these mistreated individuals remain trapped within the house, manifesting as shadowy figures that move silently through the rooms. Cold spots, sudden chills, and an overwhelming sense of dread have been reported by those who explore the house at night. Poltergeist activity has also been witnessed at Sker House. Objects move on their own, doors slam violently, and strange knocking sounds are heard when no one is there. Some visitors have claimed to feel an unseen presence watching them, while others have experienced an invisible force pushing them. The house was made famous by the Welsh song The Maid of Sker, inspired by Elizabeth's tragic story. Paranormal investigators who have visited the property have recorded disembodied voices and eerie whispers, further proving that something supernatural lingers within its walls. Sker House remains a place of mystery and fear, where the past refuses to rest. Whether it is the ghost of Elizabeth Williams, the spirits of tormented souls, or an unknown force lurking in the shadows, those who visit Sker House often leave with an unforgettable, spine-chilling experience. Number 7. Llancaiach, Fawr Manor. Llancaiach Fawr Manor, located in Caerphilly, Wales, is one of the most haunted farmhouses in the UK, with a history stretching back to the 16th century. Built as a defensive manor house, it played a key role during the English Civil War and has been home to centuries of tragic events, restless spirits, and unexplained paranormal activity. Today, it is a hotspot for ghost hunters, with countless eerie encounters reported by visitors and staff. One of the most famous spirits is that of a former housekeeper named Maddie. She tragically fell to her death down the staircase, and many believe she never left the house. Visitors often report the scent of lavender, believed to be the perfume she once wore, lingering in the air. Some have even seen her ghostly figure dressed in period clothing, silently watching over the manor. Others have felt unseen hands tugging at their clothes as they walk up the stairs, as if Maddie is still present, carrying out her duties. Another chilling presence is that of a young boy who is often seen and heard in the manor. Staff and visitors have reported hearing the soft sound of giggling and the pitter-patter of small footsteps running through the halls, yet no child is ever found. Some believe he was a servant's child who died within the house and now roams the corridors, playing unseen. One of the most unsettling encounters at Llancaiach Fawr Manor is the spirit of a soldier from the English Civil War. Witnesses have described the overwhelming feeling of being watched in certain rooms, only to turn and see a shadowy figure in full military attire standing silently before disappearing into thin air. Some have even heard the distant echoes of marching boots, as if the past is replaying itself within the manor's walls. Poltergeist activity has also been reported, with doors slamming on their own, sudden drops in temperature, and objects mysteriously moving. Staff members have spoken of eerie whispers in empty rooms, strange flickering lights, and an unsettling sensation of being followed. Some visitors have even fled the manor in fear, convinced they were not alone. Llancaiach Fawr Manor is a place where history and the supernatural collide. Whether it is the sorrowful spirit of Maddie, the playful ghost of the young boy, or the lingering presence of Civil War soldiers, the manor remains a chilling reminder that some souls refuse to leave. Those who enter its ancient halls often leave with an unforgettable experience, forever changed by the spirits that still walk its haunted corridors. Number 8. Borley Rectory. Borley Rectory, located in Essex, is often called the most haunted house in England. Built in 1862 by Reverend Henry Ball, this eerie farmhouse became infamous for its terrifying paranormal activity, ghostly figures, and unexplained occurrences. Over the years, it gained a reputation as a place where restless spirits refused to leave, and its chilling history still haunts those who remember its tragic past. One of the most well-known spirits associated with Borley Rectory is the ghost of a sorrowful nun. According to legend, she fell in love with a monk from a nearby monastery, and the two planned to run away together. When their affair was discovered, the monk was executed, and the nun was said to have been bricked up alive within the convent walls. Her tormented spirit is often seen wandering the grounds, dressed in white with a sorrowful expression on her face. Many visitors reported seeing her ghost gliding silently along the path known as the Nun's Walk, before vanishing into thin air. The rectory also became known for poltergeist activity. Strange knocking sounds, objects moving on their own, and ghostly whispers were frequently reported. One of the most terrifying events involved mysterious messages appearing on the walls, seemingly written by an unseen force. Witnesses described eerie writing asking for prayers, as if a trapped soul was desperately trying to communicate with the living. In the 1920s, the rectory was occupied by Reverend Lionel Foister and his wife, Mary Ann. Their time at Borley was filled with terrifying experiences. Mary Ann was frequently attacked by unseen hands, often waking up with bruises and scratches on her body. Objects would fly across rooms, doors would lock and unlock by themselves, and phantom footsteps would echo through the halls. In 1937, famous paranormal investigator Harry Price conducted a series of investigations at the rectory. He reported witnessing ghostly apparitions, levitating objects, and chilling voices calling out in the night. His findings further cemented Borley Rectory's status as the most haunted place in England. Tragically, in 1939, the rectory was destroyed by fire, but the hauntings did not stop. Even after its destruction, reports of ghostly figures and strange lights continued to emerge from the site. Today, Borley Rectory remains one of the most mysterious and terrifying haunted locations in British history, a place where the echoes of the past refuse to fade.